All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there is East. I'm going to call it 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I'm Mad Statter today. This is Chatter with Statter, and I can't believe it. We have got so many people in the house here. Most of all, Cindy Krause is in the house. Good to see you, Cindy. Very rarely does Cindy have time to even think about having anything to do with the online shenanigans because her real life is all full of things and stuffuses. So stoked to see Cindy Krause in the house. We've got Terry in Scotland. We have got Darlene also in the house. Pinnell saying aloha to everybody and Terry. Let's see here. We've also got Mama Sean on that their YouTube side, which is phenomenal. And who else we got in the house? We've got Mama Sean. We've got Rick. And let's see here. Pinnell and Mama Sean and Rick and Terry in Scotland. And let's see here. It looks like, let's see here. Looks like Darlene, our weather has been on the cooler side. High today, 30 only, but no rain or snow. By Friday, it will be in the low 50s. I'll take it. Even for one day, it's above freezing. Darlene, I woke up at 6 or something in the morning today, and I actually thought it had snowed out. The frost was so thick on everything, I thought it was actually snow. We definitely dipped below 30 here last night in Seattle, but I think today probably hit 50, so it's quite lovely where I'm at. And let's see here. Cindy, though, she's like, I got 73, y'all, because I live in California. Okay, that's not exactly what she said, but that's how I read it. And let's see here. Bainy Bo in the house coming in from Scotland. And let's see here. Who else we've got happening? We've got Pinnell saying aloha to all the kitties. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, thank you so much for the 1,000 biddies. And 46 in Burien right now. Yeah, and it was warmer. It was warmer earlier today, so I'm not surprised that it's 46 now. It was definitely a nice day today. That is for sure. The sun is still, the sky is still blue. I can see it from right. I can see it. It's right there. But what is I think even more best about today and this time of year is this time of year in the Pacific Northwest. It starts getting to be actually noticeably longer in the daylight, which is lovely because it is 5:15 right now, roughly-ish. And we are still easily 45 minutes to an hour before the sun is going to go down. We are still full bright light in the sky. And I'll tell you what, when full bright light in the sky happens after 5 p.m. in the Pacific Northwest, it's just better, y'all. It's just better. It makes things lovely. Now, for those of you who don't live in the upper realms, if you're more closer to the equators, etc., further south, y'all don't really understand just how early it gets dark in the north in the winter. Especially on like a gray, cloudy, rainy day. By 3:30 p.m., your lights are on your cars, and the sunset is already like, on the verge of being done. So yeah. And I'm just, like I said, I'm not necessarily stoked about the temperature so much as I am the bright lights, or rather the bright day lights. And let's see, Cindy Krause bragging about 80. Wow, dude. And Mama Sean's just like, I guess I'm going to keep quiet about the 90s that we're going to be getting pretty soon. And let's see here, Terry in Scotland says he saw a post in Facebook showing on the steep streets of Seattle, even scarier than San Francisco. Let's see here. Rick, daylight savings time, that's right, starts in a couple weeks. Or maybe a week or something. But let's see here. And Darlene, it's been getting dark around 5:30 p.m. Right. And okay, it's let's see here. Bainy Bo, you just wanted to pop in and say hello to you and chat. Molly, you better go to sleep. That's right. You're up at 8 a.m. We do need to catch up sometime. For sure, Bainy, I'm super stoked that you were here. Even if just for a quick little minute. But Terry, to go back to your your street things, I would not say that Seattle is any scarier than San Francisco. It all depends on the streets. But yeah, Seattle has streets that are extraordinarily steep and absolutely are as bad, if not worse, than some San Francisco streets. However, I have to say, in Seattle, I've never come across a hill that was so steep that when I was cresting the hill, the hood of my car was in the way of whatever it is I'm cresting into. If there's something in the middle of the road, I literally can't see it because the hood of my car is in the way of that line of sight. I.e., if there's somebody in the crosswalk, I will kill them. And there's a hill in San Francisco that is that steep, where when you're cresting it, you cannot see what you're cresting into. Whereas in Seattle, I've never seen one that steep. So I'm totally going to give Seattle and San Francisco, I'm not going to say which one's scarier. They both are equal scary. They're both equal scary. So yeah, definitely get down and put your head to rest there, Mr. Bainey-Bo. You got to get up crazy early, I think, is what you have to do for your job. But you said you have to get up at 8 a.m. So I don't know. Maybe your job's not that early. Either way, I'm super stoked that you got to be here. And even though we are 20 minutes into, I was already 10 minutes late. So why don't we get the party started, okay? All right, let's do it. All right, there we have it. So Crow in the house. Hello, how you doing? Okay, so you ever just think about watching a really good show, but every time you even think of the show, you get a feeling of uneasiness, but it's still one of your favorite shows? No. Is it like, now I'm curious, Crow, what show is this that you're referring to? Because it sounds like you have a specific show in mind that this has the effect for you. I guess like if it's a, Walking Dead zombie show, I could sort of see the uneasiness, but no, usually shows that I want to watch like again and again bring me a sense of comfort. But then again, I'm not someone who's a fan of like horror. And so perhaps that uneasiness is an attractive motivator for rewatching some shows for other people that aren't me. And let's see here, Terry in Scotland. Every tourist wants to drive down Lombard Street in San Francisco, much to the chagrin of residents there. Oh yeah, totally, Terry. And honestly, I've seen Lombard Street, but no, I've never driven down it for several reasons. First off, it looks like a pain in the arse to drive down. There's no reason to do it other than to say you did it. And if I was on a motorcycle, I might want to do it or something, but like, it just seems like number one on the list of ways to piss off the locals is drive down Lombard Street. I don't go places trying to piss off the locals. I go places trying to blend in or maybe get hot tips from the locals. So yeah, no. I just no. And let's see here. Your favorite TV series is The Pit, says Terry in Scotland, and I can't remember what The Pit is, but I've been told about it before. Okay, I'm watching a show where these girls are put into a sort of Squid Game situation, but they usually have to off the other girls and only a few can survive the game. But the worst part is the blood turns to cotton because of the game. It's really fricked up, to be honest, but every episode I watch just makes me sit on the edge of your seat, jaw hanging down, wondering if I can even handle watching this show. It's called Shiboyugi, Shiboyugi. Shiboyugi, I think is not how you probably say that, but that's how I'm saying it. Okay, yeah, no, Crow. Okay, first off, that absolutely sounds like a show I would not watch. But on the other hand, that sounds exactly like the type of show that I was talking about. That's like for someone who's maybe into the horror, thriller genre, that sense of unease and on your seat is sort of like what draws you to that genre, right? So, so it totally makes sense that this television show that kind of makes you queasy is also sort of alluring at the same time. But now is this I can't remember, Crow, where you're located exactly. I don't think you're located in the USA, are you? But is this something streaming? Is this something everybody can see if they choose to? Or is this where can we perhaps watch this horrifying thing? Now, I'm a little confused. The blood turns to cotton. So does that mean they don't bleed out and they don't die? Or does that mean... I'm confused about what it means when you say it. It's like a top 5 show, but I physically have a reaction to watch this show, and it's on Netflix. Interesting. Wow, actually, thank you for the warning, because I really don't think that that's going to be my cup of pamplemousse. I would like to just stay with my pamplemousse, thank you very much. Yes. Has anybody else watched this show? It's on Netflix. Okay, no, they die, but they can't bleed out, so they have to kill them personally. It's like psychological for them. Wow. So now, so Terry in Scotland. Okay, so Terry in Scotland, Shiboyugi. Okay, playing death games to put food on the table is a Japanese light novel series. Define light novel. It's a Japanese light novel series written by Yushi Yukai and is illustrated by Nico Metaru. I don't know how to say that name. Which began publication in November 2022. The story follows Yuki Soramachi, I don't know, a 17-year-old professional death game player who treats the deadly challenges as her job, aiming to survive 99 games to break the current record. And a lot of the girls are messed up in the head and enjoy either killing or are super scared. Oh, those kind of shows are scary when psychological mind games are played. It can get creepy, says Darlene. Yeah, I don't... Right, see... no, I don't think Well, I'll tell you right now, this is clearly, a Squid Games-esque situation. And the idea of Squid Games to me was utterly terrifying. I can scare my own brain enough. I don't need help, right? Like, for real, I've never seen the movie Titanic because a couple years before it was released, when it was in production, they were talking about it being in production, and one of the clips they had already filmed and were showing of what was what was going to be the movie was going to be like was literally of the ship and its ballroom sinking and the water rising towards the ceiling, and just that image alone made me say, oh no, that's not a movie I could ever watch. Just that image alone was enough to get my brain reeling with panic and survival swirly thoughts of what would I do. So yeah, I just don't so my point is, if the Titanic was a little too much for my fragile, my fragile mentality, my fragile brain. these things would break me. No, 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 no. These things would break me. I'm gonna assume that Darlene might be airing on my side as well. But I'll tell you what, Crow, you're obviously not the only one. I mean, first off, as Terry in Scotland said, the Japanese love these kind of things. And if it's a top 5 Netflix show, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's more than just the Japanese people who love these kind of things. So, and you would be up with panic attacks if you watch Titanic, so no watch. That's exactly right, Darlene. And in fact, I don't know if you guys remember, because this was back in, the 80s? I think the 80s. There was a movie called Arachnophobia, and literally just the commercials on television for that movie, because remember there used to be commercials for movies on TV, right? Just the commercials for that movie would send me into a hyperventilating, curled up into the ball on the couch, the furthest corner away from the TV. I mean, literally hyperventilating. I eventually learned I had to just, like, either change the channel or leave the room during those commercials. But, yeah, no. Did I mention yet? No, please. No, please, thank you. Yeah. So, let's see here. Let's see here, Terry. I watched a Korean movie the other day called No Other Choice. The hero goes on a murder spree to save his job. It starts with him dropping a flower pot on some dude's head and escalates from there. Koreans are good at dark comedies. That is true. I don't know about Koreans in general, but there's this movie director whose name I don't remember, but I know I've mentioned him here before. He's a Korean movie director, and he's got like a trilogy of vengeance movies, and one of them is called Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, and that's the only one I've seen. Oh my god. The revenge that she enacts for the wrongs that were done to her and countless others who were done more wrongly. As much as I just said I can't handle thrillers and whatever, the way this movie was done, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, or Lady Revenge or something like that, you guys, it's so, she has woven so delicately from all parts to create the most perfect revenge in the world. And it's dark. Oh, it is dark. But considering what was done, it was absolutely appropriate revenge. And I really do suggest, if you can handle, if you're in the mood to handle a dark movie, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance is one that you want to watch. Crow, I think you might actually enjoy Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. If you're able to handle that just for funsies, this movie won't be that bad. I can't remember though what the director's name is, but if you Google like Korean movie director Vengeance trilogy, it'll take you right to where you need to go. And let's see here. Darlene, that one would get to me. I remember the ads, previews of that ads. I can say I've never watched the movie either. I'm assuming Darlene means of Arachnophobia. And Mama Sean, oh my god, I just booked a cruise and no way could I ever watch Titanic. And let's see here. I watched the Poseidon Adventure, but it's blood and gore that bother you. Right. And let's see here. The director is Park Chan-wook. Yes. And he also directed No Other Choice. That actually doesn't surprise me. That totally tracks. And let's see here. It's not as bad as a movie called Derailed, because that one I physically threw up to and had to watch that so bad. Oh wow, yeah, no, fork that noise. Here's what we're gonna do, y'all. We're gonna scroll back and we're gonna go like this. Mama Sean, oh my God, you booked a cruise. Awesome. Where to? See, this is how we're changing the subject. Mama Sean, rock our world. Where are you going on a cruise to? Are you going to Alaska? Are you going to... where are you going? Are you going to Hawaii? Are you going to the Caribbeans? Are you doing a Mediterranean cruise? What you doing with your cruising? And we watched Arachnophobia in the basement in the dark with it. What are you talking about, Mom Sean? Hold on. Okay, wait. We watched Arachnophobia in the basement in the dark with the kids, and no one would get up and turn on the light. Oh, no. That's my response to what you just wrote. Terry in Scotland, using his newfound creative freedom, he would go on to direct the films, forming his unofficial The Vengeance trilogy. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Okay, okay, so it's not Sympathy for it's Lady Vengeance. Lady Vengeance is the one I was talking about. And so Mr. Vengeance, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, a financial failure that polarized critics, followed by Old Boy, and then Lady Vengeance, both which received critical acclaim and were financially successful. Old Boy in particular is regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. Wow. And helped establish Park as a well-known director outside his native country. Interesting. Oh, wait. Pussycat. Oh, yeah, definitely don't watch The Poseidon Adventure. The ship flips and sinks with people trapped. It's an old movie from the 70s. Wait. Isn't The Poseidon Adventure I think I've seen that one. Isn't, what's his face? He's an actor. Funny, he's an actor in a movie. The captain, the captain of In the Poseidon Adventure, the captain, what's his name? Isn't it like Leslie Nielsen or whatever? Like it. Oh. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. But you know the guy who was in Airplane? And he was like known, he was just a stupid comedian guy. Well, apparently before he was in Airplane, he was like a serious actor, and that's who I'm talking about. Who am I talking about? It's definitely not Gene Hackman. Oh, Gene Hackman played a priest in it. Yeah, okay, so yeah, no, but the captain though was, I want to say, isn't his name Leslie Nielsen? The one, it's like frankly blah 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 and don't call me Shirley. You know that one, right? Let's see here. Shelley Winters swims underwater a long time in The Poseidon Adventure. Yeah, I think this is the same movie. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen, I think, was in that movie, wasn't he? He played the captain. All right. Poseidon. All right. Okay, Terry in Scotland. Yeah, rather than me be like, so you can look at my bald spot. Yeah, okay, so yes. Terry in Scotland says that I am right. Leslie Nielsen was the captain. Yes. That was I've seen that movie twice. I remember seeing it when I was a little kid and not knowing what I was watching. And then I watched it again and I was freaked out and the reason actually why I watched that movie was because I was saying to my boss how I always thought of Leslie Nielsen as a comedian, as a comedy, because in my era of my going to the movies in my childhood, it was post Airplane, and so all the movies I saw Leslie Nielsen in, he was being a comedian. But apparently he had a whole other career where he was a serious flippin' actor. And so I was kind of confused about that. And my boss was like, yeah, dude, you should really watch. Well, she didn't say dude, but she said, yeah, you should really watch that movie. And I did. And it was a good movie. It was a scary movie. I wouldn't want to watch that movie again. And Mama Sean, how about this? Don't watch that movie. But, yeah. But for real though, actually, where, And hey, Pussycat, good to see you, by the way. But let's see here. I don't think Mom... Oh, Bermuda for Dr. Speed. There we go. I was trying to go back. Bermuda, nice, nice. I hope you guys have a great, warm, beautiful time. Beautiful, beautiful. And let's see here. Penelle's saying she watched Rosemary's Baby while babysitting. I've never seen Rosemary's Baby, and I've never seen The Omen. For some reason, I think of those two together. Or is it The Exorcist. I've never seen The Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby. For some reason, I think of both of those movies together. When I think of one, I think the other. Let's see here. So Penelle's kind of into psychological horrors-ish. And let's see here. Everybody agrees Rosemary's Baby is scary. And let's see here. Cindy, you saw The Exorcist on a big screen theater when I was about 20. No idea what it was about. Absolutely scared me to death. Years later, I tried to read the book and couldn't do it. No scary movies for me. So The Omen is different. The Omen was very bad. I don't know what you mean by bad, like just a bad movie or a scary. But The Omen was different than Rosemary's Baby was different than The Exorcist, I'm assuming. Ready to eat conch in all its forms. Yum, yum. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland says The Exorcist scared the hell out of me. It's one movie I will not watch again. Interesting. I've never seen The Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby. I've seen Poltergeist. And that was mildly interesting, I guess. But Rosemary's Baby, I mean, even though I know, what is it, in The Exorcist, there's like a pea soup kind of situation. I've been warned about that enough that I don't think I would be too freaked out about that. You never saw The Exorcist either? Huh. I wonder if maybe we should explore The Exorcist on the cinema. Okay, Dr. Steve, Cape Fear for the scary movie list. Mama Shaw and Dr. Steve, I feel like I've seen Cape Fear before. I also feel like I might have seen the remake, so let me have multitudes of questions here. Is that an old movie that got remade? Is it a Stephen King story? I feel like I've seen... I feel like that movie, the movie that I'm thinking of, that was either a remake of Cape Fear or maybe the original. I want to say it came out in the 80s or the 90s, early 90s. And it's like, if I can't remember, but no, it's like a criminal sort of like tracks down the people who put him in jail, and he sort of stalks them. Okay, pretty sure it's 1991. Okay, yeah. I totally saw that. And yeah. It was, he just kept coming back. Yeah, that was, Cape Fear is a scary one. Absolutely. And The Omen had a scene when a man had his head cut off by flying glass. Oh, I wouldn't like that. Oh, no. I can handle spitting head and pea soup, but I don't think I want The Omen. Okay, we're not going to be watching The Omen anytime soon, y'all. And Terry in Scotland, there's no escape from the scariness of The Exorcist. The soundtrack is eerie. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. The soundtrack to movies can so much emphasize the emotion and tension of a scene. Just like in F1, a couple weeks of last Saturday, whenever it was, we watched it. During the final scene, well, not the final scene, but the scene where, he was, gonna win or whatever. The music that they had in that race tunnel vision flying moment was so almost uncomfortable to listen to. That's how intense it was. It was just the choice. It was a very, very good choice. Whoever was the musical director for that movie definitely made a good choice there. And then there's a movie, I want to say it's called Silver Linings Playbook, but I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Anyway, it's a scene in a movie, I think it's that movie, where one of the main characters, he's like bipolar and he's like losing his mind searching for this journal or something that he had in the attic. And the Led Zeppelin song that they chose for that scene, I can't even remember what Led Zeppelin song it was, but it was so perfect. It drew out the tension so perfectly. When another, perfect music director for that particular movie. And Crow, if I ever get into a scary situation, I'm just singing California Girls and going about my business. So, that's a good one. When I get mentally uncomfortable, I go a little psycho. I really, one of my best friends noticed what I do, and he's just like, wow, you literally look crazy when you're doing this. But, Peter Aggie, Silver Linings Playbook is about the Philadelphia Eagles? Really? With the Hunger Games girl? Okay, well, I don't know what movie I'm talking about then. But there's this one movie where this dude's going crazy looking for a journal up in his attic. Yeah, I thought Jennifer Lawrence was in that movie. I don't. Did I ever tell you guys that I don't really know what I'm talking about? But what I will tell you is, instead of singing California Girls, what I sing is Raindrops on Roses and Whiskers on Kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up in string. These are a few of my favorite things, only I don't sing it like that. I usually end up sort of just all squeezing myself for self-comfort, and literally, I didn't know I did this, but my friend pointed out, no, I rock, so I'm squeezing myself and rocking like some crazy looking person, and then I'm muttering to myself, raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, brown paper packages, ring. These are a few of my favorite things. And he, I think I kind of scared him when he saw me doing that. He's just like, you look like a madman. You look like a madman. But Silver Linings Playbook, I feel like, I think you're making this up. That it's about the Eagles? No, it's not about the Eagles. You're lying. But no, it was totally. Bradley Cooper was the guy, a man with bipolar disorder who moves back in with the parents after a stint at the mental institution, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's the one, Bradley Cooper, he's the one going super crazy in the attic. And there's a Led Zeppelin song that accompanies it that is perfection. Stop doing this. Terry, exactly. Stop doing that, Molly. It looks like you're ready for collection for the Funny Farm. That's basically what my best friend told me. But what I'm saying is it never hurts to have a song to get you through the thing. And if his is California Girls and Crow just wants to sit there going, wish they all could be California girls, wish they, well, the East Coast girls are dancing. He can do that too. It's cool, man. Whatever gets you through. And this is the year of the fire horse, and my wife is a horse, and she was born in the year of the horse 60 years ago in November, so she is also a Sagittarius, so she's triple fire horse. I told her that, and she was very impressed. That is kind of impressive, and frankly, Pussycat, a little bit scary. This year is going to be her power year. So don't piss her off, okay? Okay. All right, you guys, so Last Sunday, We're gonna say Sunday. No, right. Last Wednesday, we had to cut the Last Wednesday, we had to cut the stream short to go visit Photo Luke. Last Sunday, we had no stream. So now we're back to this Wednesday. And this Wednesday's Lono listening break was based upon the talk of the Lunar New Year on previous Wednesday. So, we're going to listen to this Lono listening break that had a tangential association with something we talked about a full week ago. All right, so let's listen to some Lono, shall we? Boop.
Mr. Moon. Shine your light on
All right, there we go. There we go. Let's see here. So, we've got it. We've got a hair situation, so we are definitely going to be talking about this. But before that, Rick is bringing up next full moon is early morning Tuesday, March 3rd, and coincides with a breathtaking. Wait, hold. Let's try this one more time. Next full moon is early morning Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, and coincides with a total lunar eclipse, creating a striking blood moon. And it is visible around 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time across North America, the Pacific region, Australia, and East Asia. Not only that, Rick, we've got this coming on here in a minute. February 28th, that's like 3 days away, all the planets in our solar system will appear together in the sky. This is a very special event that will not occur again until the year 2020. Yep, there we go. Numbers, they're hard. 2040 is what I'm trying to say there. Now, I learned this on the interweb, so this may or may not be true, but I actually have also heard other people speaking of it, so I'm hoping it's a little bit true. And it came from a sciencey kind of website, so I'm hoping it's true. And I figured that Rick would maybe know if it might be true. It's a planet parade, exactly. Now, where do you need to look to see this? I don't know. When will be the best time to witness it? I don't know. Do I actually believe that I know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Rick says look to the west at sunset. So I would definitely say listen to Rick more than me. But Rick at this point is not pointing and laughing in my general direction. So I might actually know, maybe. I don't know. But Cindy Krause, February 28th is your grandson's 5th birthday. Is this an omen? Let's hope it's not an omen, Cindy. Somebody's head might get chopped off by a hunk of glass. And no comment. Good to see you. Look in the sky at night. Exactly. That's pretty much all I can tell you. Good to see you. No comment. And then and yeah, the Pussycat. This planet parade is happening on the 28th. But the total eclipse of the lunar blood moon or whatever, that's on March 3rd, I think. And Rick coming in, you can only see 5 of those because one, you need a telescope. Okay, that makes sense. And that actually sort of coincides with the conversation I was having at the bar, because somebody was like, no, it's only 5. And I was like, no, I swear I read 6. So we were kind of both right, but she was actually more right because you only gonna see 5. So, okay, this is good to know. Rick, do you know which one we're not gonna see? I'm gonna assume we're gonna see Mercury and Venus because we see those a lot. Do you know which one we're not gonna see, Rick, by any chance? And let's see here. And, Terry in Scotland. Yeah, those filters are fun. Beatty Bo used a filter to make your hair black. You resembled Alan Rickman. Nice. Rick, you think Neptune, but no quote you. Okay, I won't quote you, but I was thinking Neptune too, because I don't really remember hearing about ever seeing Neptune in the night sky. Whereas I'm pretty sure I've heard about like, oh yeah, you can see Jupiter. Oh yeah, you can see Saturn. I know you can see Saturn with your naked eye. But I wasn't sure about Uranus and definitely not sure about Neptune. Yeah, for sure, Terry. You need some mirrors to see Uranus. That's for sure. That is for sure. I don't know though if that's actually how they pronounce it anymore. Don't they pronounce it, the unfun way, Uranus? Yeah. And how, you know what? I don't know, Crow. I'm going to assume it had something probably to do with, like, it's a derivative of a, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure that question has, like, been asked before, but why have I never, thought about that question before? Rick, Puzzy, anyone who knows, anyone who might know why that planet has such an unfortunate name? Like, what was there's got to be a reason, right? I mean, I can only assume it has something to do with a Greek or a Roman god of some sort. I don't know. I'm just curious how it might have gotten its name. And yeah, Puzzy, you have a telescope so you can see Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus very clearly. No comment. Roman mythology. Okay, yeah. And, I don't even know what it was named. I don't even know the god or whoever that it's named after. That's how little I know about Roman mythology. It's really embarrassing, actually. My lack of knowledge for Greek and Roman mythology is quite embarrassing. Uranus was a Titan. Okay, see, Pinnell, she not only writes things, Pinnell knows things. Okay, and so I can only assume... Is that planet just really big? Because Titan usually means big, right? Titanic, big, the biggest, as it were. I don't know I've heard of Clash of the Titans, but I don't know I don't know what a Titan is. I know nothing. Okay, the name Uranus refers to an ancient Greek deity of the sky, Uranus, ancient Greek known as Caelus, sure, in Roman mythology. All right, so actually the Greeks, there we go. Crow coming in, blue-footed something, let's see, blue-footed boobies also got its name from a European, I believe, Spanish word for foolish, or something like that. I learned that recently because the birds were scared, so they will just go up to humans, and people thought they were the birds weren't scared, or they were scared, so they went up to humans, and the people thought they were foolish, hence the name. Well, that kind of makes sense, because it's just like, if they're edible, like, you do realize humans might eat you, and you're just gonna come up and say like, "Hi, human. My feet are blue, but my meat might be tasty. Want to give me a try?" Yeah, weren't scared. Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. No comment. You got your Romans and your Greeks mixed up. Oh, honey bunches, no worries. First off, I don't know enough to know if it's Greek or Roman to me, so we will not be calling you on that. You at least had a vague idea of roughly the area-ish, and that's all we need. Google says that Uranus, being the father of Saturn in Greek mythology, fit logically into the celestial hierarchy. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. And Pussycat, Saturdays are named after Saturn. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. I'm going to assume that Sundays are named after the sun. And let's see here. You're confused. Are we talking about birds or boobies? Yes, exactly. A little bit of both, my friend, as Crow says. And Pussycat simply, yes. Yes. And you know what, you guys, I'm going to switch the topic a little bit. I read this earlier today, and I didn't believe it to be true. I have since sourced it to be actually a little bit true. And if it's true, I say yes. Here's the deal, y'all. That's right, I'm turning into a sports ball fan. Their local sports ball team's been doing real good lately. And yeah, they're looking good for next year, too. They're thinking about getting a new owner, though, so that'll, like, switch things up a little bit. But, hey, you know, it looks like we got ourselves a rich white guy who wants to, you know, hire some black dudes to help him buy the team. Crow, are they twins? No, actually, who they are is they are local football celebrities from a previous era of Seattle Seahawks greatness. We've got the one that's sitting down is Marshawn Lynch. He is part of he's not part of. If you've ever heard the Seattle Seahawks term beast mode, Marshawn Lynch is, was, and always will be beast mode. Yeah, it sounds like it's a team event, right? No, it's just one man, and one man is the beast, and he gets into beast mode, and he was an offensive lineman, I think, back in the day. Hugely important, incredibly important player during our previous Super Bowl era. And he has been, he's retired from football, but he is still a huge fan of the Seahawks and does a lot with the organization. And Richard Sherman is the one that is standing, and he was the main character of what's known as the Legion of Boom, which was part of, I think, the defensive line during the same era that Marshawn was playing on the Seahawks during that original Russell Wilson football Super Bowl stint. Both Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch have, even though retired from football, playing football, have been huge supporters of the Seahawks and heavily involved in the organization, even though they aren't technically part of the team. Either way, dude in the middle is a billionaire from Seattle, and he wants a Microsoft billionaire from Seattle, and he is getting together with Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman to put in a bid to purchase the Seattle Seahawks. And I think this would be the absolute best option that has been floated so far. I would so love to see former players become part owners. Obviously, they would be minority owners, and the dude with the big bucks would be the big owner. But still, I think this is almost... actually, no comment. From what I understand, Ballmer still owns the Clippers. I definitely am not sure if that's true, but we do know that he used to, but I think he actually still owns the Clippers. And that's pretty cool because I do enjoy, I would like to have somebody who has ownership, previous sports team ownership experience if someone's going to be buying the team. Cuban buys everything but nothing at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Mark Cuban is interested, and prior to this lineup of potential buyers, Mark Cuban was kind of the one that I was hoping for, even though he's not local. I just thought he was sort of the best candidate, but now I don't know. Now I'm not all about the Cuban. I want Ballmer and Lynch and Sherman to create a bid package that I think that I think would more better represent the Seattle franchise than Mark Cuban would. But Crow, you're totally right. Cuban is a very smart man who's had successful business ventures in a multitude of businesses. He's not just a one-trick pony. And so I really do, that's why he was my top choice. Not like I have any say in it, but that's why he was my top choice in the previous, people who were who were showing interest. But I don't want Bill Gates to own anything else in the state of Washington, and I don't want Jeff Bezos to own anything else in the state of Washington. And at the time, it was Bezos, Gates, and Cuban that were in the running. So it was just well, of those three, forget that. I don't know. No. Let's go Cuban. But now I am all about Ballmer, Lynch, and Sherman. And yeah, Crow, he's still your top choice on Shark Tank. If he ever offered me an offer, I'd be going with him too. I totally agree. I totally agree. I feel like he has done the most for... And yeah, the little that I watch Shark Tank, I like him the best too. And let's see here. They need to get Ken Griffey Jr. and Sean Kemp as part of the ownership too. Yes and maybe no. Ken Griffey maybe. Sean Kemp, Sean Kemp is under a lot of legal scrutinies right now in the area. He's in and out of some. He's got some criminal situations that he's handling right now. So I don't know if he would be the best person at the moment. I'm picking up what you're laying down, getting the whole community of local sportsters who still live in the area to like chip in on a team. Good plan. I'm just not so sure that Shawn Kemp is exactly in a position of, from a public relations point of view, I'm not so sure he's one we want to have making the effort. And Deathless Shrimp, I don't know. And hey, Picola T, good to see you. And also Lady Misty, I somehow missed you, I think. And so it looks like we've got a Lady Misty somewhere in the house. There we go. Lady Misty, good to see you, Lady Misty. Let's see here. We've got, all right, so we've got Terry in Scotland. The Seattle Seahawks are officially in the process of being sold. This is true. Following the death of owner Paul Allen in 2018, in accordance with directive blah blah blah, divest of Sports Holdings, the sale process was formally announced February 18th, 2026, with investment bank Allen & Company and law firm Latham & Watkins leading the effort. The team is expected to sell for between 7 and 8 billion, making it one of the most expensive NFL franchise sales in history. Interesting. Well, Ballmer is a billionaire, so, I mean, that usually means there's more than one. 1 billion, that is. And I'm pretty sure that Lynch and Sherman, while not in the billions, could probably throw in a couple million, making them like a little 1% owner. Yeah, I hope that whoever, I just want Lynch and Sherman to be part of the owners, because it's sort of like the workers buying the factory, and I feel like they deserve a little piece of the action, because they are so quintessentially part of the legacy of the team at this point. They were brought us to the first Super Bowl, for goodness sake, and Crow, do you think if we started a GoFundMe, we could raise enough money to eventually buy a football team and we all share ownership? Perhaps. Now, the question is, what football team? I'm going to say we could maybe afford the the ladies flag football league or whatever, because there are different, sub leagues or whatever, and there's a women's football league, so we might be able to afford a ladies team, because I'm sure they're not going for billions. Exactly, the Pee Wee football team, perhaps. And yeah, Elon has shown no interest, thank goodness. Yeah, thank goodness. I hope that he doesn't. I really do hope that that the local bidders get priority, but then again, that would give Bezos and Gates priority, so I don't know what I hope, but what I do hope is whoever the owners aren't going to move the team, and I feel fairly certain that if Lynch and Sherman and Ballmer were part of it, there would be no moving of any teams. And let's see here. Something cheap like the Saints or the Cowboys. I'm sure we could get those for cheap. Perhaps. Now, also, or the Falcons. Nice. There you go. Bill Gates doesn't want any more publicity at the moment. Honestly, to tell you the truth, no comment, as, that, I really don't want to make light of what you're referring to, or make it part of a joke, but at the same time, it's those files. I think you're right. He doesn't want any more publicity at the moment, and those files might work in my favor to like make him back off. That might work in the favor of he's now out of the running because he just doesn't really want his name mentioned in the papers right now. I feel like that might work for the greater good of this purpose. I don't feel right saying that, given the context of, I think, what we all know what I'm talking about, or what he was talking about, what no comment was talking about. Anyway, but here we go, back to football. So, one truth is, this is a truth, this is happening, right? This is happening. But here's another thing that's true, not true, right? We don't know this yet. Breaking news, when Seahawks visit the White House, they said no. This was all over last week, that the Seahawks decided that they were going to decline the offer to go to the White House. As of today, because I did actually double check this, as of today, the Seahawks have not mentioned whether or not they will or will not be going to the White House, and they have not yet been invited to the White House. The invitation has not even been extended to the Seahawks for them to accept or decline. Nor are the Seahawks saying what they will or won't do if the invite is extended. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the invite never gets extended, because the Olympics are kind of taking precedence. They happened after their, and the Olympics, are all over this administration's radar right now. And, they're inviting, the male hockey team. But yeah, the women's hockey team is definitely not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. The ladies hockey not having none of that. But I would be willing to bet, though, that the men's hockey team are going to be going, is my best guess. And let's see here. Puzzycat saying he admitted to what he did. I'm assuming we're going back to Mr. Bill Gates, as it were. But admit it or not, I just don't think he likes having his name mentioned right now, because if his name's mentioned, that is also mentioned right next to it. And who's the rapper who invited the women to Las Vegas? Was it Flava Flav? I feel like Flava Flav did something recently. I know that Flava Flav the Summer Olympics, sponsored the water polo team, but was it Flava Flav? Okay, so it was Flava. Okay, it was Flava Flav. Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought that he was the one, yeah. And it's so ironic. I'm old enough to remember when Flava Flav and Public Enemy and NWA, I was about to say what NWA stood for. Wow, that would have been a problem. I'm old enough to remember when NWA and Public Enemy were two of the most dangerous rap groups in the world. They were scary. They were what was going to ruin our culture, and they were going to take America down. They were everything that was awful about the scary rap, black gangster culture, political active. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God, these are just straight out of the ghetto voices that are being heard. I'm clutching my pearls. It's really ironic that Flava Flav from Public Enemy and Snoop Dogg, who is just, an artist that is one step away from NWA. Snoop faced a murder case, exactly. It's just so ironic that Snoop Dogg and Flava Flav are like the saviors of USA Olympic sports, because no common sense. Snoop faced a murder case and now your grandma loves him. He's best friends with Martha Flippin' Stewart. I mean, it's so bizarre sometimes how things evolve, and how the most hated, dangerous performers turn into the most wholesome family-friendly saviors of Olympic sports. I'm sorry, but what Flava Flav did, if y'all don't know what Flava Flav did last Summer Olympics a couple years ago, he literally was found out how poor, or basically he found out how much time it takes to train for the Olympics, and how these women were still working 2 or 3 jobs plus training because they were getting no money to train, and they still had to pay rent and and their stipend for food and living was just not enough. And he found out that like they were all super poor, and so he sponsored them. Every single woman on the U.S. water polo team didn't have to pay for food or lodging or anything. He foot the entire bill, and I think that's kind of awesome. I mean, I don't necessarily like the idea that we invest so little in our athletes as a country that somebody needs to step in and sponsor them, but since that seems to be the reality, it's really nice when celebrities like throw down some of their money for the good of the country in the Olympic Games. It's patriotic in its own weird way, right? At 2 Live Crew, Peter Aggie, I don't know if Luther from 2 Live Crew has done so much charity work as, say, Flavor Flav or Snoop Dogg, but isn't it bizarre that something as me so horny could have caused such a huge uproar back in the day? I mean, can you even imagine in this day and age? Oh me so horny, me love you. I seriously, dude, like what? That wouldn't even get you written up to go to the principal if you said it in school. But yeah, and Picola T, I'd personally like to see the Seahawks celebrated anywhere but the White House. Keep the politics out of national sports. Yeah, I'm totally. And Crow, you feel like Eminem has changed. Yeah, I know it's not too drastic because of Haley. Oh, absolutely. Well, and honestly, if you as a parent, or if you are a parent and you don't change because of it, then you're just kind of a bad person. I was going to say, you're just kind of a poopy person is what I was going to say. Only I wasn't going to say poopy. Yeah. And, let's see here. But as you guys were also pointing out, isn't it weird how some people, like Bill Cosby, absolutely, went the different direction than Snoop and Flav chose to go. And, let's see here. Darlene, nowadays it takes much more than that to be said. Yes, exactly. And go to the White House and eat cold McDonald's after all your hard work. I know, right? I mean, my goodness, I could just go through the drive-thru for that. I mean, because it's like, and here's the deal. I'm not like dissing the White House for serving cold. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I am dissing the White House for serving McDonald's food, but I'm not dissing the White House for serving cold McDonald's food, because the fact of the matter is, when I go through the drive-thru, I get cold McDonald's food, and I'm literally at the building, and it's just the 2 inches that it takes. It gets cold, so you can't transport it all the way to the White House and expect it to stay warm. So there you go. And I've heard of OJ, says Crow, but I've never heard of Aaron Hernandez until recently. Who is Aaron Hernandez? That name sounds really familiar. Is he like a baseball player? I feel like he's an athlete who did bad things. Who's Aaron Hernandez? He was a football player. Okay. Really? Yours is always steaming hot when you get McDonald's? Well, Crow, you just have a better McDonald's than I do. Because it's not. Okay, it's an ex-Patriots player. What did he do? Because didn't he? So he's a Patriots tight end, but didn't he murder somebody or hire somebody to murder? He killed his wife. Right, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is all vaguely coming back to me. But yeah, but the thing is the reason why you've heard of OJ and now you're only, and just me now cluing into who Aaron Hernandez is because Aaron Hernandez was just a football player. And by the way, I don't mean that disparagingly. It's a huge ordeal to be a football player. But OJ wasn't just a football player. He was, once he had his football playing career done, he then went on to be an actor and went on to do a whole bunch of other stuff, which gave his name a way bigger pull than just the football scene. You know, people knew him from TV and not just football games on TV. Whereas Aaron Hernandez just was a football player. So I guess it's not really surprising. I don't think that you did hear of one, but not t'other. But yeah, if I remember correctly, when that was all going down, it was definitely like, I was horrified at the horrific thing that he was alleged to do. And so let's see here. During the 2013 offseason, Hernandez was arrested and charged for the murder of Odin Lloyd, a semi-professional player who was dating the sister of Hernandez's fiance. Following his arrest, Hernandez was immediately released by the Patriots. He was found guilty of first-degree murder in 2015 and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole at the Souza Baranowski Correctional Center. Sure, okay. Not his wife, but still a murderer. Got it. Crow, isn't a life sentence only like 20 years or something? In some countries, yes. Here, no. As a general rule, if you get sentenced to life, you might be eligible. There's a lot. Boy, so many factors. But in theory, if you get sentenced to life, you might be eligible for parole. Might be eligible for parole. Might. After 20 years. But the sentence is not, like, once you do 20 years, you're not just let go. I think, like, in Norway, a life sentence is 20 years. But here, no. It does mean life. But there is, there's always if, ands, or buts, as it were. So, let's see here. So, all right, you guys, it is 24 minutes, close to the bottom of the hour. We've got 6 minutes left, which means, we should probably start thinking about rounding things up, winding things up, wrapping things up, whatever I'm trying to say here. That's what we're trying to do. So, I want to thank you guys for hanging out today and subbing and biddying, and mostly I want to thank you guys for chatting it up, because for the most part, except for my little Seahawks breaking news, we didn't have to watch any of the videos I had lined up, except for, of course, Lono listening break, but we always do that. So, this weekend, what are we going to watch at Statterbox at the cinema? At Map Statter, that's right, Map Statter. Ooh, that was a good pop. I don't know. I was thinking we might go and watch True Romance, which was that scary Valentine's Day movie that I didn't show before. But I also might not. So, we watched F1 last week, and that was a fun movie. But yeah, we're going to see what we're going to do on Saturday. Be aware, it might be a gory romance, scary movie-ish. Or it might not. But just be aware that you might decide, oh, dude, this one's not for me. Or you might decide, oh, I like this way better than I thought. We'll have to see how it plays out. All right, you guys. So, let's see here. As Darlene says, yeah, here in the States, life means life. And, all right, you guys. So, thanks so much for hanging out. Looks like everybody's saying goodbye and mahalo to everybody and everything. I don't know if he's doing this or not. Hopefully. Hopefully. Oh, dude, yeah, Puzzy, you did, because we watched F1 and we thought of you and we were hoping you were there, lurking. But I'm sure you've seen F1. I'm sure you already know how it turned out. No spoiler alerts. Exactly. We got the shakas. We will see each other hopefully on Saturday. But if Photo Luke is happening tonight, does anybody know? Is Photo Luke? I'm planning on being here for Photo Luke tonight. But Puzzycat just said nope, so maybe I won't be here for Photo Luke tonight. If Photo Luke is playing tonight, streaming tonight, then I will hopefully see some of you. And if Photo Luke is not streaming tonight, then... well, then I guess this is it. So, alright, there we have it. Oh, you haven't seen it yet, Puzzy. Oh, no! Well, you need to watch it. And maybe one day we will watch it again on our cinema. Alright, cool, you guys. Take care. Have a good one. We'll see each other Saturday or maybe later this afternoon or evening, tonight, whenever. Oh, Luke might have to pick up a cat at the vet's. Oh, no. Well, then maybe we'll see each other or maybe we won't.